All right. I want to hear from you right now. Maybe somebody is experiencing pain, maybe there is anxiety. Write in this chat. We need to take a load off, so to speak. If somebody has something to share, write it right now. Good evening, everybody, or good morning, good night. Today we have international crowd. What is the best way to store money? I don't really want to take this responsibility to be a financial advisor, but I personally store my money in deposits in 3 currencies. And I also have some real estate. So my money is, so to speak, working. The money is stored in real estate because I used to work in New York in real estate in a company where super wealthy Russian tycoons who were buying $100 million real estate. And they were not buying it for themselves. They were buying it to invest the money and store the money, because if they keep the money, store the money somewhere else, be that a Swiss bank, for example, there is a commission. Swiss banks take 2% just to store the money. That's why people chose to invest into luxury real estate. Not to rent it out, but just to freeze the money and store it in these assets, for example, on Manhattan. Because Manhattan real estate never really dropped by a lot in any recession, maybe 3-5% max. But now the reality is different, but I personally doubt it will affect Manhattan. But if we talk about us, regular people, not billionaires, just let's say middle class people, maybe somebody even had to save up to watch this webinar, or maybe somebody has savings, then of course it's better to store the money in the currency of the country you live in. But yeah, this is if you have very little money, then just keep it in the currency of the country you live in. If you have a little more money, say over 1 million rubles, which is $20,000 roughly, then three currencies, well, that's what I do: dollars, American dollars, euro, and the British pound. Because if somebody collapses, at least I have euro, or at least I have dollar, or at least I have British pounds. Now nobody really knows what's gonna happen. Maybe a certain currency will be cancelled and a new one will appear. Nobody knows. Right now, all the analysts and experts, and I personally monitor this, nobody knows, nobody gives a certain forecast. The smartest analysts don't give any forecasts. But in any case, my friends, for example, who have real estate and or like malls, shopping center, business centers, this is also an asset area which will be declining. But now what's going to be on point right now are warehouses and freelance. Like I mentioned at the business course, but I didn't really expect it to happen this soon. I had a business course where I said that everything was going to disappear and only freelance will stay, warehouses and the headquarters, head offices of giant corporations, but just taking a few square feet as just a small apartment, let's say, office type of deal, and business premises won't be a thing anymore. Okay, so I'm reading your questions. Scrolling. I'm sore after workout. Good. It means you had a good workout. uncertain about my husband's job. I'm angry that I cannot leave the house. I put on a lot of weight. It's okay, after this webinar you will all lose weight, calm down, everything is gonna be all right. I'm gonna give you such a giant diamond that you will pass on to your relatives and friends. This is 100-carat diamond. I'm doing fine, thanks to you. No panic. Okay. No pain. Missed you. Feel like a nice chat. I feel like I have a lump in my throat. Not scared at all. Everything is okay. Just can't figure out my new plans for the future. Well, right now is the time to learn to be in this uncertainty, because uncertainty is stress and a concern, anxiety. There are systems in our brain that activate certain hormones that affect us, lower our immune system, our focus. And our focus right now is to adapt to this. Today you will receive instruments, how to adapt, and further, I am sure that this will change half of your life. What I will give you today will change half of your life, or maybe your life. In stress, you will find inner strength and wholeness, what's important and what's not. And when all of this is over, all of this crisis, it will become a huge resource for you. Okay, my abs is sore after the workout. Great, start working out with us. I have clogged ears. Bad dreams about teeth that are falling out. Well, teeth, if looking at it as the collective subconsciousness, teeth that are falling out or breaking, teeth represent anger, our natural survival instrument. Attack somebody, biting when they're attacking. And when the teeth are falling out, if we play with this mentally, right? Teeth falling out, anger, impotency, weakness before problems. It's like I cannot do anything. So you have nothing to protect yourself with. So you need to find a different resource. Completely lost my inspiration to my hobby, can start creating. Well, it's either your lack of resource or it's just not your thing, because I'm also a human being and I have my own limitations right now. I can't fly away to party with somebody to party somewhere else and enjoy life, as I planned. But at that, I am still very productive. I enjoy what I do, and I'm working a lot. I'm efficient. But if you aren't efficient, you need to ask yourself. Who wanted this for me? Who wanted me to do this activity? Why have I decided that this is my thing? Whose voice is playing in my head telling me to be a good lawyer, for example, a good accountant? Who is telling you this? You need to stop and listen to the voice. Who is telling you this? Whose voice is this? To be a lawyer, an accountant? And why should I do that? Who am I doing this for? What am I trying to prove, and to whom? If you hear that it's your voice and it's yours, and your inner senses are rising, that you won't give it away, and your logic says I am capable of doing it, and I have the desire and the resource, and it's all in synthesis, in one inner mind. It's mine. What is inner mind? This is in fact on the level of our reptile brain, where it is coded who we are in life. And now listen closely. This is actually genetically who we are. It's genetic. Not everybody is a leader, for example, and it's not because you aren't brave or anything. It's just you don't need it. It's not in your DNA. It's just not there. Me, for example, my whole life I have been a leader. Always been a leader. I have always had the need to be the leader. And it's my inner desire, it's burning inside me, and it cannot be compromised. It is my inner sensation. I have this sensation, my inner sensation. And there are people who do not have this need, and it isn't because they're afraid, it's just they are okay with what they have. They're self-sufficient and they're enough being where they are and develop and grow in the area they're in, or this project, and not to throw themselves onto the pedestal of a leader. It's just important to feel on the inside this sensation. It is important to feel on the inside, and I will give you the instruments today. This is the exercise. All the exercises I will give you today, all the practices and everything I will be talking about, the keys, the solution, the exercise. This practice I'm giving you is super resourceful. You will find a lot of answers, and you will change part of your life for sure. And if you pass it on to your children, and it's like pretty much like you will be passing on 100-carat diamond, which one can, for example, sell and become a billionaire, because the mental state you are in and what you're feeling in your body and your reptile brain, their functionality determines your life in general. Because when I was obnoxious and didn't think with my head and followed other people's orders, my body was different. My way of walking was different. And all of my inner systems were different, because all of this tension, our posture and our body in general is built by our muscles, right? And tendons, which are tensed up because of our inner lack of freedom, because we don't know who we are, what's important to us, what's not, etc. And when I changed all of my inner systems, I worked with them, my outer systems got changed. And if you look at the pictures of how I used to look and how I look right now, you can see the difference. And moreover, I can see that my body has changed as well, how I have become more free and relaxed. So yeah, I'm feeling uncertain, but at the same time, I want a lot of things. I'm afraid of getting fat, understandably. If we travel miles to the fridge and how we're charging up with the resources, meaning you can't generate resource, which we will be talking about today, where to take them, how to accumulate them and generate them inside, then you won't need the fridge. Me, for example, I haven't gained any weight. My waist, my hips, all perfect. I don't have the need to go to the fridge. But get this, I'm living in such a closed up space right now. My neighborhood is closed, and if you go outside, there is police who controls where you're going. And they come up to you and ask, where are you headed? And I say, such and such store. And they say, this is a shorter way. So nobody is allowed into my house. I couldn't even get the table into my house. Like they started calling the police, and I said, this is just a delivery. And they go, no, owners only. Nobody can enter my house. I am kind of in a cage right now, but I'm not, but I'm free. I'm not running to the fridge for help. I'm in abundance here. I can afford anything. We have a lot of caviar, berries, sweets, you name it. Our supermarkets have super fresh everything. It's amazing. But I don't have the need to go to the fridge because all of my inner systems are balanced and are working properly. They're self-regulating, and no need to go to the fridge to take this short resource to get a dopamine hit. Because when you have eaten something, your dopamine has been released and you gave yourself this shot, this little shot to keep going a little bit longer. Because what is dopamine responsible for? It's responsible for pleasure, and pleasure eases pain. It eases anxiety, eases body pain. Inner pain, I mean body pain, anxiety, and stress. In fact, our whole entire body is always experiencing pain, pain in the background. The pain is always present in our body, but our dopamine system blocks our background pain. We only learn about our urgent pain. If we got, for example, we got cut our finger or hit something like that, our urgent pain sends a signal to the brain, and we start handling it. Say it hurts here or in the stomach. That's it. We start handling it and heading to the doctor. But in reality, our body is always in pain. But we never feel it because our dopamine is constantly blocking it, blocking this background pain. This is how our body works. This is a normal biological process. And drug addicts, for example, when they take a hit, they break this. I forgot the name of our pain blocking center. There is a lot of stuff in our brain, and honestly, I couldn't memorize them all. When we were studying the brain, they brought brain to us and laid it out on the table and disassembled it, and I couldn't memorize all the names. They're just crazy long and thousands of them, so I'll be using words, area, system, etc. So this dopamine producing system is being blocked, being broken, and then the drug addict can't live without this drug. And when they decide to quit and move on with their lives, their background pain blocking center stops working, right? So they are having withdrawals. If someone has a dysfunctional dopamine system, they are in constant pain. Constant pain. Hypochondriacs, they are always anxious. They are short on dopamine, and that's why they're always feeling something in their body. This is itchy, this hurts, this is cramping. That's it, cancer. But that's all because this area, I'm missing the name, this area is malfunctional. There is not enough dopamine to balance out all that background pain. So no balance for them, it's just background pain. Okay, somebody's getting divorced, chest pains. Yeah, now that we are catering our fears with our dopamine and we're short on it, we start getting aches and pains. Today we will start doing exercises and all our aches will stop. No pain, no anxiety, sick and tired of this panic around. Yes, I agree, yes. It is annoying and this uncertainty, in this uncertainty, people are running to the internet. I also took advantage of this story, and you may have seen what's going on my page. And as a marketing specialist, I couldn't resist, couldn't ignore the story. So I made 2 teams. I talk about it on my business course, so to speak, to raise my ratings. And now it's a different story. We're talking about a different story. I will just calm you all down that on my page everything is under control. Okay, so uncertainty around my business in this panic. The main thing is getting grounded, slowing down, relaxing, and today's practice will give it all to you and even more. It will balance you out, and only from this state we will need to take all of our decisions. Catherine, you aren't stupid. You're actually very smart. You can overcome this situation with an easy heart and effectively adapt to the new situation. Now is the time to restruct, time to transform and make inner reforms. And it is great that you are all here and you will receive something you will be able to use your whole life. And it is very important to feel it right now. Who am I? What am I? And what activity I should choose for myself? Which decisions to make? How to resolve tasks? This is actually an anti-crisis practice, not only for the inner balance of all systems, but also an anti-crisis self-management and management of my surroundings. But of course, we cannot control the situation in the world. We can only control what's in our reach. And how to organize your time with work, school, and kids. Okay, so your boundaries determine your efficiency and communication with your relatives and friends. It is of utmost importance to give yourself time and space to distance from your kids and husbands and those who you share your living space with. Even if you are in a one-bedroom apartment, find a curtain or put in a nail into the wall and build a wall, a so-called wall, of a towel or a sheet. But you have to have your own space. Everyone needs this space to distance from the relatives. Otherwise, the interrogation will lead to fights and wars, because everyone is a separate system, separate world. And even if those are your children, they are still a different system, different world, because your children have developed their system just being out there in the world, and they will be fighting with you for their system, and you will be surprised. And to say nothing about your in-laws, everyone has their own system, and it is super important to be able to distance from them properly, and close your curtain, and on the outside write something like no trespassing, and that's it. You are doing your thing, relaxing, resting, etc. What's important? Rest should be passive, couch potato style. Lie down and do nothing. And in this moment, our natural recovery is happening. Our natural recovery is happening during the passive rest. Our natural recovery is pleasure and passive rest when our parasympathetic system is active. Parasympathetic system is our passive rest. Our nervous system craves it. This is how we recover. And if this is missing, we go into chronic stress. And what is chronic stress? It is when I don't know who I am, what I want, what is mine, what is not mine, what is someone else's in me. I can't make decisions. I call my friends to ask what to say to my husband, what to say to my lover, how to talk to my children, what should I do. So my life decisions are not coming from me. They're coming from someone else as a random pick. Mary said this, Jane said this. Whom do I listen to? Mary or Jane? Mary or Jane? Okay, Jane it is. And I'm writing to my husband a text message what Jane told me to say because I lack inner decisions, and this is called chronic stress. When we have suppressed all of our feelings, and guess what? 99% of the population is like this, and this is why we're so easy to manipulate. Aware people cannot be manipulated. And what is awareness? When there is a balance between the brain, the body, and our inner neocortex areas, which we will be working with today, they unite, synthesize in one, and we feel our wholeness, and we can make decisions and control our life. But still, I'm telling you that 90% of what is pushed into us is by someone from the past or the present. And we do not control this because our reptile is stronger than us. It is stronger than our cortex area. The reptile brain is stronger because it's instinct and it reacts to pleasure and punishment. Pleasure and punishment, our most primitive needs. And marketing specialists know about it, and the scammers also know about it, and they use it. And we have already bought and obtained a lot of things that we didn't really want or need. So our reptile always is the first to react. And then comes neocortex, which isn't always the case, to be honest. Sometimes it's shut off completely due to the chronic stress that people are in. And a lot of people, 99% are living in it, in this chronic stress. Thank yourself that you are here today, that you are hearing this, and you're working on yourself. And you're paying not only for my webinars, but investing in your education. And you aren't 15-year-old kids, you're adults. Thank yourself and be proud of yourselves that you are growing, because you probably know people who aren't learning, who don't understand why it is all needed, and who are judgmental. You can see them all in my comments on my page, on my Instagram. Right? Try to fight with me. So today we're going to integrate. I'm still talking about the practice that we will be doing. I'm not selling it to you. I am emphasizing the significance and inviting you to do it every day. To do this practice every single day. We will be integrating body, brain, logic, consciousness, our basic needs. and our body. We don't have the culture and culture of, I spoke about it at the webinar about aware sexuality. I said that we lack the culture to feel pleasant sensations in our body. And this is so important because this pleasure releases dopamine and activates this dopamine source that shoots out dopamine. Our culture is talking about what hurts here and hurts there, and we're all about pain. Have you ever seen or heard a conversation like, "Oh, girls, I'm sitting here feeling all goosebumps, all so good, and I'm sitting here feeling so good in my hips"? We don't have that. We don't pay any attention to the pleasant sensations in our body. And what's worse, that's the majority of people. We don't feel our body. We lack the sensitivity in our body. And we make our decisions with our decisions, we make them with the body. It never fools us. Because in the mind we have two systems, the needs and the cortex. The needs are our reptile brain. Reptile brain, which is 100 years old. It's an ancient brain. And as Homo sapiens, we started developing with that, and then we grew cortex. And our brain has been changing. So these two centers are very important. The most important, the main. Lost the thought here. What was I talking about just now? It happens to me. I may be asking you for help, to help me out. I need to tell you. I need to remember this because it's important. Yes, dopamine. Yes, I wanted to develop. Oh yeah, decision making with our body. Thank you for your tips in the chat. So, thank you guys for your tips about the body. Right. So our reptile brain. Let's say you're going to the store because to the grocery store because your reptile brain is hungry. Reptile brain is hungry, but then you're passing by a store and seeing a nice purse, and your cortex tells you, "Look, a nice purse," and you're already into all the advertising, and your pleasure center also tells you from your reptile brain that, "Oh, that's a nice purse and I want to get pleasure from this purse." And you buy it. It was an impulse decision because you weren't going out to get the purse. You didn't really need the purse, but you were influenced by something, not your decision. So how do we make decisions? Do I need the purse or do I not need the purse? Your body will never lie to you. Your body is a great prompting tool. It works, the body works only in collaboration with these two centers, the cortex and the reptile. Those reptile amygdalas. If they are properly synthesized, you will be taking the right decisions. And if they are disassembled, the cortex thinks about one thing, the reptile is thinking another thing, and the body is completely switched off, then you will always be making the wrong decisions in your life. All of your decisions will be wrong, and they will not even be yours. Not even yours. How can they be yours? Because you took them from someone else. And it's very important to agree with your decisions and to find your own decisions by yourself in general. The decisions are your immune system. Like you may ask, what do you mean? Like, what is the connection here? But this is about you being in harmony with your inner self. And when you take the right decision, you get a result. And your dopamine is being released. Dopamine, which also affects your immune system. And everybody says, oh, strengthen your immune system, vitamin C, ridiculous. Immune system is your inner systems working in agreement with each other as a perfect team. And when you make your decision, complete it with an action, and complete the action, you get your share of dopamine. And your immune system strengthens. Your immune system gets better and better. And moreover, your efficiency grows, because wrong decisions lead you to making mistakes. You make mistakes, and then you start correcting them, and then you get anxious about that. And you're always anxious, because when decisions aren't yours, you're always anxious. Anxiety is your lifelong companion. How to be in agreement with your body, we will talk about it today. Everything I say today, listen and connect with it and consider it important. So it's not like I just gave you a practice and you do it once and forget about it. This way you won't even appreciate the practice. If I don't tell you this, I need to tell you the theory, because it is very important. This way you start understanding and seeing what you're doing it for, and you start seeing the result this way, because you're aware of how it works. Anxiety, yes, you need to get rid of it. I know how I used to live. It was a nightmare. It's heaven and hell how I used to live and who I am now. In my anxiety, I have even reached a state where I felt if I kill myself, I would just make it easier for myself. See, I was considering a suicide, but I am afraid of it, of hurting myself. My reptile is working, because schizophrenics have a malfunctioning reptile, and thus they can kill themselves. Those whose reptile brain works, they are protected from that. But they will be suffering, hurting, living in stress. It's a nightmare. Up until 27 years old, I was in chronic stress, depression, and I was suicidal as well. Like in this mental state. And who am I now with this inner freedom and joy of life? Wow! Even being here, locked in my own house, I still feel free. I feel happy, and I'm so grateful to myself that I have arrived here. And I'm very happy that you are here as well, because you are also getting all that, and you will be enjoying yourselves. I'm so happy to be giving you these instruments and this knowledge. Girls who are 27 and you just found me, you're amazing. I'm so jealous of you in a good way. Because you have reached this, I have reached this mental state when I was 35. To this adequate state. I mean, I've come there. And now I'm 39, going on 40 in August. Girls, better late than never, even if you are 78 right now. I found you at 20. See how great. Amazing. Found you at 35. Great. So yeah, where were we? Anyway, I will tell you everything anyway. I am 15. Wow, this is amazing. At 15, getting this knowledge. Insane. It's insanely great. Amazing. Can you imagine this? Like, getting this knowledge at 15. You have such a happy life ahead. Another 15-year-old. Ah, great, ladies, girls, amazing. You are just gonna live a great life. Amazing. But I'm gonna tell you this. Even if you're 78, feeling this inner freedom is worth it. Even if you have 2 months left to live, or 3 years, feeling this inner freedom, even for a few days, this is absolutely incredible. This is a gift. This freedom is a gift. I'm saying it like freedom and stuff, but you need to feel it to understand it. And today there will be instruments, because I've gone through it all, and I can give this instrument to you. I've lived it. I know how it works. My clients have positive dynamics, and this is why I'm capable of passing it on to you. It is very important to find your own pace. If I say important, it means it is indeed very important. It isn't just a figure of speech. Not like that. It is important to find your own pace. We all have our own pace. It doesn't mean that you need to be fast. Doesn't mean that you have to be slow. It has to be your own pace. Ask yourself questions like, am I going too fast? But the most efficient way, it's all via slowing down. If someone who is who has slowed down and they're grounded, they will not be asking themselves these questions really. Because mindfulness and grounding are a system that was installed by your family. Habits, it's a so-called fate, a gift from your parents. These people are grounded. They're mindful. They aren't thinking about pace or rush. I'm not talking about how fast one can complete a task. Of course, there are deadlines and we need to meet them. Of course, it's a bit of a different thing. I'm talking about our inner pace, our inner state. Like, am I going too fast? And maybe I should slow down and see the importance of the situation. Who am I doing it for? Am I trying to prove something to someone? Am I doing it for myself? So what I call pace is about self-importance. Self-importance. Do I need it? Do I need to continue this? And what is grounding? Grounding is when I have assimilated my feelings through my body. Unfortunately, we also lack a tradition or culture to recognize our feelings, meaning know what they are what is, like, the definition, what is sadness, for example, or what is anger or tenderness. All of them, there are more than 100 of them. We don't have it. We don't have it. We are thinking mindlessly. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm not saying that this is how you live. Maybe you are aware or learning. I'm also still learning. But I can say that I'm grateful to myself that my systems are already self-regulating. And this freedom is constantly there, constantly in me, this pleasure. And we do not recognize our feelings, and we don't process them in our body, because where do our feelings live? They live in our body. And if we don't locate them in the body, we don't process them, we don't get grounded, because mindfulness and grounding, these are the same process that happens in our body. We don't get grounded, and then what happens? We don't assimilate the experience. We do not assign to ourselves what we have received. People in chronic stress are people without experience. They may be 55, 60 years old, but they lack experience because they didn't assign it to themselves, and they don't assimilate it because of what? Because they don't recognize the emotions, don't locate them in the body, don't get grounded, and don't have the experience. See the importance of processing feelings and recognizing which feeling you're processing. Why have I issued this book for children, A Journey to Self-Awareness? It is all about feelings, each and every single feeling. This is a huge base, and I said this book would be for children, but for adults as well. At least this. Actually, this is a lot. Take it, recognize it, and learn to process it in your body through feeling the body, because we don't really feel our body, we only feel the pain. We will learn to be grounded, mindful, as one process. It's like a synthesis. And this way, we will learn to accumulate our experience because it assimilates. I'm going to give you an example. Let's take women who are being mistreated, abused, and people feel it's okay to mistreat them. They don't recognize their emotions. They don't recognize their vulnerability. They don't recognize their weakness. They don't recognize this mistreatment. They don't process it. They block it on the inside. They don't know how to handle it. They suppress it. They cannot contain it. And you can do whatever you want with them. Your husband then could be abusive, verbally or physically, and she just shrinks. And she's already a small dot, and he keeps pushing and pushing, and she has already disappeared. And he can do whatever to her. These women are not efficient at work, in personal life. They cannot give anything to their children, nothing, just pass on their fears, anxiety, and lack of self-value. They lack experience, and they cannot pass on anything to their children. They can't even give anything to themselves, to say nothing about the children, because they, first of all, don't recognize their emotions. They don't recognize their feelings, and it's all atrophied. Chronic stress. A woman who always says no to herself. A woman who says no to herself is a woman in chronic stress. You probably know that your mom or your grandma is like this. My grandmas, for example, well, one of them is awesome, and another one who died from cancer at 55, she always said no to herself. She had expensive fur coats in her closet. Back in the USSR times, that was like something cool to have. She had a high-end job and she always got the latest brands, etc. But she never wore any of that because it was all for a special occasion or a national holiday. And everything was only for a special occasion. Everything was on a special occasion. This is our culture, actually. Everything is for the special occasion. This beautiful set of cups, only for the special occasion. Don't touch it. And you all know that. Your moms are like this and you are like this. And we need to relearn. And newsflash, we can relearn. Our brain adapts to the new information. Our brain learns the new things by means of the instruments that you're getting today, learning and will be assimilating into your own experience. And I recommend getting this book for children. If you're not a child, if you're an adult, learn these emotions, feelings in a fairy tale. It's even better, actually. So, this was about the pace. I am my own priority. Great. Yes. Yes, you remember, put your own mask first and then help assist to your child. And if you, for example, just serving your child, accommodating all of their hysteria or anxiety, and who has children like that with episodes and behavioral disorders, anxious mothers who don't make their own decisions, who just lack the decision. And how do you check it? Let's say your child starts misbehaving and you don't know what to do. How to calm him down. You lack a decision. And then you hear an inner voice in your head. This is because you aren't giving your child a computer. This voice you hear in your head. And you start giving your child a computer. So, in this moment, listen closely. Whose voice is this? Whose voice are you hearing? Ask yourself, who is it? Maybe it's your mom's voice or your grandmother's. Usually it's your mom's voice. And note it to yourself. Okay, it's my mom's voice. And what do I think? How much internet, computer time will I allow my child right now? Okay, he got an A today at school, so maybe 15-20 minutes or an hour. The child starts to escalate his misbehavior, crying and screaming. But you stay calm because you know your decision. It has been made already. You know it's bad for his eyesight and it's not safe for him to be in front of the computer for so long. So you have decided for yourself and that's it. You take good care of your child. So you have decided, right? That's it. Inside of you, from within. And you vocalize, okay, close it. And you will see that the children actually react differently to the decisions that you made in agreement with yourself. Yes, I see that the time of the live, Instagram tells me. This is this banner. I'm controlling. It's okay, thank you. I can see it. So when the mother is grounded, she has a solid ground and she has her own decisions made, and the children actually stop misbehaving. They calm down and they listen to their mother, and they hear them too, and the parents in general as well, and they give feedback, and the child asks questions and the mother responds, so they communicate. I'm listening to you and I'm feeling more and more calm. Of course, this is a therapeutic webinar as well, not only theory. We are breaking this information down to you. We. It means that there is a lot of me there, huh? Yes, I see that everything is great. Now we are closing our gestalt together. We are sorting it all out, making it clear. Our dopamine is being released, and it calms you down, and your anxiety is going into the back burner. Now I will tell you about intuition. About intuition. What is intuition? So like I said, we have an inner dopamine meter which responds to the outer system. Outer system. Or I'm making it too complicated. Outer systems, I mean a person, a business, a partner, music, merchandise. How do they determine if the song is going to be a hit or not? How do they determine this? You listen to the song, and if you feel so good inside, you know, this feeling like you like the music. You know this feeling, like when you like the music, right? This is the response from your dopamine system. The same thing happens with a person or a product. Any product. So the first 4 to 6 seconds listening to the song, for example, we release the dopamine into the blood, this hormone, and at this moment we can identify if this is a hit or how good I'm feeling with this person. If this is mine or not mine, if this is my person, not my person, this is how our intuition works. We usually know the decision after 4 to 6 seconds. But because we're in anxiety or in chronic stress, we are unable to hear it or feel it. Which is why we need to unblock our body and connect all of the systems. Tune them in, tune them up into balance, and then we will be more in touch with our intuition. And our intuition is actually a chemical reaction. It's a chemical reaction, and upon its completion, we can take our decision. I'm asking you to analyze for yourself right now which signals you get to understand if this decision is right or wrong. When you need to make a key decision, for example, and you don't know. There are two solutions and you don't know which one to choose, for example. For example, to get involved with the person or not. I will tell you my example. So there was a person in my life, and he promised to do some repairs in my house, my condominium. And he was recommended to me as a carpenter. So this carpenter came to my place to fix things, and he's a nice young man. Nice looking young man, uh, communicative, you know, a bit modest, normal guy. And but every time he came over, I felt shivers on the inside. It was trembling, and I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand what was happening to me. I couldn't understand this. He's an absolutely positive man, father of 2 children, works out, you know, doesn't smoke or does smoke, but on the whole, just a person, just a good person. And every time he comes, I feel shivers on the inside, like a tremor. So guess what happens next? So he talks me into hiring him to do renovations and repairs in my condo. And I leave, I pay him some money, like 1/3 of the total amount, as it usually happens with the repairs, and he starts. I tell him that I would be back in a month, and he tells me, okay, that he would be done within a month, because he was renovating my kitchen. Said in a month it will all be ready. So in a month nothing is ready. He starts giving me excuses, and I thought, okay, whatever, and he asks for more money. So I pay him the other third. And as a result, no, I never smoked. So as a result, he didn't do anything. He just disappeared with the money and did nothing. He did nothing and disappeared, and then go look for him, huh? So he was just a scammer. And you know, later in life, I met another person to make some business decisions, or partner up with him, to become partners. And you know, I am feeling the same as with that carpenter. Shivers, trembling. And he's a very positive person as well. But me, it's like I have a motor inside. And all of a sudden, and I'm feeling fine. I'm a normal, healthy person. And this is a good man in front of me, even popular in his own circles. Guess what happens? Later, I found out from other people that this man is just a con artist, a complete fraud, and I am given a list of people whom he deceived. And later, I start remembering and analyzing my own experience with the people who scammed me or did some nasty things to me. At our encounter, our first encounter, I always had the same feeling. This inner shivers, trembling. And I still kept interacting with them because I didn't know about intuition. Nobody taught me about this. What is this? What is intuition? That it's my body communicating with me, that your brain would be communicating. I didn't know that. If your body starts communicating to you and you start using your cortex explaining to yourself, the cortex will rationalize everything. It will fool you. Your own cortex will fool you completely, like it did to me when I paid this carpenter. But my body told me not to get involved with him. And regarding this partner, the business partner, my body was all in shivers, and I was just telling to myself, oh, he's a nice man. And I also share this with my friend, and she tells me, I told her that, I have this weird feelings, and she tells me, don't get involved with him then. And I start arguing with her. Not really arguing, but I start analyzing and telling her that he's a good man, that this is all this and that, it's all good from all his self-presentation and everything. So this is why, here's a task for you. Remember your first impression of the people in your past and analyze the experience you had with them and the outcome, the result. And from this, you can conclude which is your talking impulse. And remember it, anchor it. Because sometimes we complete a practice and forget about it and keep on living the way we did before. And this is normal. Our brain is adjusting to the new way. And we just need to remember about it, use it, and remind ourselves. How do I differ this sensation from anxiety and a negative reptile experience? Once again, you go ahead and remember the person who didn't deliver or gave you a negative outcome, but you communicated. You did business with them. Remember, and we are able to remember and replay our feelings that we felt before. What did you feel when you first interacted with this person? Maybe you spoke on the phone or chatted on via texts. What did you feel when you first met the person and then had a negative experience? This is how you remember your first impulse. The first impulse, you need to remember it and anchor it. This is your impulse that you need to trust. For example, my impulse is like a bird trying to escape, you know? And what is yours? What do you have? About ex-lovers, yes. Of course, those with whom you had bad experience, and they're popping up in your head right now, in your memory. This is also your intuition showing you, because all of the systems in the brain are interconnected. You are remembering the experience that I asked you to remember, and the scenes just pop up. Oh, there he is. This is him. And back then, you just didn't realize it because you didn't know this instrument. Yes, with the bankers, possibly you had that. Yes, monitor it, even in business. Not only the business instruments I gave you at the business course, like exchange with a surplus, but use your intuition as well. How your body reacts, your body. Irene is writing, she starts twitching. Yes, it's different for everybody. Someone starts twitching, I get shivers, trembling, but it can also vary. Just listen to your body. Our main goal today is to activate our body, activate it. To activate the sensitivity in the whole body, to reach wholeness. And from this wholeness, you will start feeling yourself. Well, not in terms of health, but in terms of feeling your impulses. This is important. Heart race. I also get shivers. Yeah, see, as well. If I want to take my time before I pay, it tells me I can be deceived here. First of all, you have the right to take your time. And your body will never fool you. You know, your brain will start explaining and reasoning and giving you all sorts of facts and proving you wrong, proving you right. And a reptile will be selling its own ideas, but your body will never fool you. You need to activate your body. Of course, it's always on, your body. Sometimes it shuts down, of course, but you just need to remember this impulse. In business, it happens that I want to help somebody, but on the inside, I'm feeling resistant. I helped so many times, and in return, I just got garbage. Exactly. Okay. So, what's next? What have I not told you yet? What have I not talked about? Insomnia. Insomnia, I promised you. Insomnia. What is insomnia? It's when we haven't processed feelings and emotions of the day. When our brain is one thing, logics, neocortex, emotions, and the body, like they're all three different separate systems that they don't interact. When we haven't processed a lot, let's say the person has worked with the emotions and feelings, but then something happens, stress, and they got verbally abused or something. Just a very, very stressful event occurred, and this person just cannot process this amount of feelings and emotions in one day. Their container isn't ready for it. So this night they will have trouble sleeping because they haven't processed, they haven't understood why this happened. The emotions are through the roof and the body has shut down because in the time of stress and unprocessed feelings, our body shuts off, freezes, disappears. Our hands and feet get cold. Our sensitivity disappears. Insomnia, especially the chronic one, tells us that these three systems are separated and we need to put them back together. And today's practice will have this effect. And if you keep doing it, keep practicing, I guarantee that first of all, you will change your life, plus everything that I have already told you. Plus, I guarantee you that your insomnia will leave you. Okay, what else did I need to tell you? Let me just check that I haven't missed out on any important information. Maybe you have some questions on here, or maybe there is something I promised to tell you about and just got too carried away. So do you know what is responsible for our logics, emotions, feelings? I mean, feelings, emotions are one thing, thoughts, logics, and body. What is their common denominator? What's the core? What's the core? Where is it? The core is in diaphragm. Our breathing is our life. The way we breathe determines our life. People with shallow breathing are in chronic stress. People with broken or uneven breathing are in fear and tension. Those with a compressed rib cage and the breathing isn't full and shallow These people cannot live normally. These are unhealthy people. And actually, this is everyone. If you pay close attention to your breathing right now, but maybe right now you're breathing better because some of your inner tasks have been completed now. While I was talking, you got some of your answers, and maybe right now you're breathing better, easier. But bring your attention to your diaphragm, your rib cage. In what condition is it right now? Is it easy to breathe? Are you breathing up to here or here? Or you're breathing freely, your rib cage is moving and your breathing is flowing smoothly, deeply, almost up to your buttocks, up and down, and you're relaxed and your shoulders are relaxed. So the posture of the person, the dynamic stereotype, is formed depending on the breathing. Our diaphragm is holding all of our inner organs and tissues. And if you're tense over here, it gives the impulse to your tissues to tense up as well. And when the tissues are tensed up, the inner organs are tensed up as well. And then you have a certain posture, you like this or like this. You're slouched maybe, or maybe, and everybody has their own posture, maybe crab-looking hands. You know, there are women with hands like this, like crabs, slouching. And maybe you saw my webinars where I say that I can see what's going on in the life of my clients when I see them, by the way they walk. Why it's important to me to see the person through the screen, because I see the changes in the body from our interaction, in what posture they start and how they change towards the end. I see the dynamics, all of these body moments. And as we get our inner freedom, we release our breath and all of the tissues, as well as the inner organs. Headaches, psychosomatics, asthmas, where are they all coming from? This is all from our inner imprisonment, lack of inner freedom here. And migraines, yes. The breathing, when your breathing is congested. My request to you is that set your alarm for every an hour and a half. Wherever you are, you have to pay close attention to your breathing, your posture, how you're standing or sitting, how comfortable you are, the depth of your breathing, your emotional state. Every hour and a half, set the alarm, because you will not remember. We lack the skill to monitor ourselves, and whether you're feeling your whole body. After this practice we do today, you will learn to feel your entire body. You will get this wholeness. If you feel the entire body at least once, it will mean that all of your systems are united and your diaphragm starts moving and you gain freedom and you're free from everything. Yes, so set your alarm for every 1.5 hours, except for the nighttime, of course, when you rest. And please control your inner state. Am I comfortable? Am I in a comfortable position? Because we happen to sit in this position all twisted, and our jaws are closed, and we sit and we're not noticing how tensed up we are, all twisted like this, and our diaphragm is all congested, and we're like a dead branch. Dead branches. And this is, there is this horrible disease, something like Bacterius disease. It's when a person's joints are all grown together. This is someone who completely ignores themselves, completely, and lives only for the sake of the others. It's a comfortable person. It's a good girl. The good girl who is constantly feeling guilty. Who are the good girls? These are women in guilt, constant guilt, because they're always guilty, and they're trying to accommodate everyone, because this is she is guilty. Yes, Bacterius disease. Bacterius disease. Thank you. It's a horrible disease. The person just dries out like this, and their spine and the sacroiliac joints are all grown together. It's horrible. Are the good girls victims? Yes, of course. Tell me about it. They are always in guilt. Always in guilt. They're guilty and they don't realize it. That's why they're so comfortable. They're trying to accommodate everyone. They're trying to live for everyone else. It's a horrible, horrible story. Women in a bird cage. Of course, it's coming from our parents, and of course, these are the expectations. When this girl had to be a straight A student, she had to conform to the family. Or another extreme point, when the mother was abusive to the daughter, because her mother was doing the same to her, you know, all those systems. And this girl, when someone blamed her for the first time and made it clear that she didn't deserve something, she felt emotional pain. And then it happened again, and she was hurt again, and she was so hurt that she suppressed these feelings and stopped recognizing them. And she started living unaware of this guilt. And she is always good for everyone. So this good is on the other side bad. I'm really bad. It's a two-sided coin. Look, I'm good, and on the inside it's really, really bad girl. A girl who needs to be punished, kicked, who doesn't deserve the good things, etc., etc. I'm so bad and guilty that my whole life I'm being good to people. I'm a good girl. I will be liked. I will be pleasing everyone. For example, if you read my comments on Instagram, not everyone figured out that it was just a practice for my students, how to defend yourself, how to defend your views, keep your boundaries, etc. What do you think was surprising to the people? That I said that the remedy shouldn't be worse than the disorder? Of course not, because I allowed myself to talk about it. They were shocked that I was not adjusting to the system which everyone is talking about right now, but I was against the system. And when you break your father's system, because system is usually your father's energy, and when the child is telling their dad, no, what I say goes, I suggest a new alternative. all the patterns are breaking. Who are you to disrespect the system? Who are you? I get this question a lot. I get this question. Who are you to do what you do? And they start insulting me. You probably saw. I had the gut to go against that father's story. And this was a training, just practice for my students, first of all, and plus, of course, it's marketing, of course, to attract people to my page. My sales, skyrocketing, etc. So that's why I killed 3 birds with 1 stone. I vocalized my opinion, I worked with my students on their boundaries, and I boosted my sales. So yes, let's continue about the good girls. A good girl. How not to be a good girl? A good girl always has an inner critic. And I will tell you this. A cat cannot be angry with itself. A dog cannot be angry with itself. Whale, goat, donkey, horse, etc. They cannot be angry with themselves. And we also cannot get angry with ourselves. But then who does get angry? It's that critic who is stuck in our brain system, which was in our childhood. If your inner critical voice starts telling you something, which this is not you scolding yourself. You cannot. Scold yourself. It's against the nature. We don't have self-scolding mechanism. This is the voice of your parent, not necessarily your mom, your dad, could be your aunt or grandma, whoever is more significant. And this is your parent who was telling you how you should be, how you should act. And for example, you need to go back to your family, back home, to your husband and your kids. And your mom's calling you and says, oh, you left me here all alone, you don't come visit, you don't have lunch with me, and I cook it, and you didn't bring me toilet paper. And you have to ask yourself, what is important to me? To live according to my mother's principles and everything, or do what I consider important, which is going home to my family. And look, over here, this is not all. You have to make a decision. Even if you're going to your mother's place, you're telling yourself, reaching an agreement with yourself, yes, my family is important to me, but I am making up my mind to go visit my mother, because right now it is important to me to obey to my mother's rules. Yes, we can do it like that. We can do it like that. You don't always have to follow your own desires. You can go against them, but in agreement with yourself. This is important to understand it right now. This is the key moment to avoid inner conflicts like, oh, I want to go back home to my family and I'm going to my mom's and I'm all tearing apart on the inside. Moreover, you aren't even realizing it, but all of your systems will later hit it. They hit you because if you went against yourself, you have released cortisol, which is a hormone that weakens your immune system. So you have to be in agreement with yourself. You agree with yourself, like, okay, I'm going to my mom's, okay, I will not be going home to my family, even though it is important to me, but it is also important to me to follow my mother's will, I agree with this. And as you have agreed with this, you released some dopamine. You got your dopamine and you close your gestalt with your action. With this action, you in agreement, you have closed your gestalt. It's very important. What I'm saying right now is global because we are used to acting against our will, following the voices in our head. But you need to live as you please. And you have to agree with this. I don't mean it like I want to go to my husband and screw my mother. I'm going. Because my mom is not dying. She's doing well. She's healthy. And you don't really have to go visit her. But you choose your mother. And you choose to follow her wishes, orders, whatever. Not because you bend over to please her, but it is because inside yourself you have this inner agreement. This is just gonna transform you. This is gonna discover a new world to you. You can act according to your wants and needs in your life. Just allow yourself to do as you please. Because if you do not follow your wants and needs, this is your immune system. A healthy human being is in full agreement with him or herself, both with the good and with the bad. She or he is confident, whole and healthy, and with a great immune system. Right now I'm like a priest. You know, when someone comes with a confession and he says, oh, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. And the priest says, I forgive you, my son. I forgive you, my daughter. Read this, that prayer, etc. Girls, you don't have to read any prayers. Do what you please. Everything has to be our way. This is the key moment. Everything has to be our way. And when I say this, this is what it means. Agree with your wrong decisions and allow yourself. Everything should be your way. Say your husband told you to wash the dishes. But you're such a good wife. And that the dishes are so dirty. But you don't feel like it and you don't wash it. And agree with yourself. And here's your dopamine. And you feel so free, and you're just chilling in front of a TV, eating popcorn and throwing it into the wall, and your husband is shocked. And trust me, he's gonna want you even more. This is tested in practice. It's called a free woman. A free from stereotypes and the opinion of others. And this is your immune system. Your immune system. So have I released your sins? You can do whatever. So if you read my comments on Instagram, what is the problem? People lack this function. They do only what's allowed. What's allowed and cannot go against it. Cannot go against your mom's will, your dad's, the system. This is the whole father's code talking. What does it mean when I'm living like that? This is my full separation from the parental figure. In psychoanalysis, this is the term, full separation from the world, from the universal father figure and the universal mother figure. You will be free and healthy and with strong immune system, and you will pass it on to your children and to the other generations. You will be attractive for the men, and not only one, and not 3 but 4 more, and as well as for women. My nose started breathing. Great, freedom. You're freeing yourselves from inner bands which told us not to do this or that. So this is the way to get rid of the anxiety and panic. And PTSD is when people have learned to be helpless and weak, and they are inclined to get panic attacks. When your panic is at its peak, you start to touch different textures and define them with words. This way, your cortex gets activated, because people with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, they have their frontal lobe deactivated. Only the midbrain is working. And the limbic system is not in full function. Not in full function. And the person does not recognize feelings, emotions, or the body, and loses the logic. The person stops making decisions, feeling what's mine, what's not mine, but this is like magnified up to 1,000 times than just a regular anxious person. And everything I talked about it today, this is also good information to you, and the practice we will be doing is like a key solution for you. If you keep doing it, you will get rid of your PTSD lickety split. This is not a panic attack. No, a panic attack is releasing large quantities of adrenaline into the body together with cortisol. And we experience fear as our blood vessels shrink. And we feel it in our body, and we get even more scared and release even more adrenaline and get our vegetative response. And it's like a vicious circle, and you need to leave it by getting distracted. For example, the glass is cold and transparent. The curtain is green and soft and expensive, etc., etc. So just by touching the textures and naming them, using your cortex, using the cortex, because PTSD, for example, shuts off the cortex. It's off. And when we start using the words to describe textures, it gets activated, plus our reptile turns on because we're using our senses. And we combine these two variables, and the anxiety leaves. About multitasking. A lot of people are angry with themselves for not fulfilling or completing something. They're not multitaskers. So here is a secret. A human being is a monotasker, not a multitasker. We are monotaskers. This is about our concentration, focus. And we are monotaskers. We can fulfill only one task at a time, and only when we focus on one task, we can improve our efficiency. If we start multitasking, a few tasks at the same time, like I'm responding to a text message and at the same time communicating with my child. He says, like, oh, mom, I need to talk to you and stuff. And it's important to you to respond to a text right now as well. So you will not a good result in either place, especially if your child is a teen. It's really important to listen to them and hear what they have to say. And the person you're responding to, you will also make a mistake and the decision, you will probably make the wrong decision. And as a result, you're inefficient. We cannot do 2 tasks at the same time. It just makes us inefficient. Very inefficient. And we also have a few incomplete tasks. All of them are incomplete. By the way, when we complete a task, we get a dopamine response again as a reward of some sort. And we feel pleasure. We close the gestalt, as gestalt therapists say. If you have started a few tasks and they are all incomplete, you haven't completed the first one, the second, they're all dragging you down, and our brain system is programmed to finish. Once it has started something, it needs to finish, and if we do not complete something, do not finish, then we are creating chronic stress. Again, you have suppressed the guilt and become a good girl for others, but forgetting that you haven't fulfilled what was important to you. And all of this gets stuck like an old computer with a lot of open windows, and it starts freezing and eats a lot of mental energy. I used to call it mental energy, and now I'm explaining more from the perspective of brain and biology. So, in this so-called mental energy, when our tasks are open, it is used to process the incomplete tasks. And you are feeling guilty and dissatisfied, and your dopamine is used to service those incomplete tasks, to support what is incomplete, to support this incomplete mental energy. And hence, we lack dopamine needed to keep us happy and healthy, which is why it's super important to complete the tasks. How to do it? I spoke about it on my business course, and we did this practice. You take a piece of paper and make 3 columns. First, tasks that need to be finished today or within a week, like to fix your computer or clean out my closet because it's super dirty already and dusty. Something very, very important and up to date. Second column, something you have to complete in a long term. And the third column, there you put your wishes and desires. What you want to learn, maybe you want to learn a language, let's say Chinese. You want to learn Chinese. It's very popular now, and my son keeps speaking it. Say, for example, you speak English and French and you want to learn Chinese, or you want to be flexible, get a split or something, but it's not too important, but you want to accomplish it in a lifetime. You just want to have it at some point, so this is important. So this is your third column. And you track the dynamics in this chart. And as soon as you have completed the tasks in the first column, you cleaned out your closet, for example, you cleaned out your house, and you can move the things from the second column into the first, and from the third into the second. So one, and eventually the third one will become the first one. So you will track the dynamics, and your tasks are being completed and you're getting a lot of dopamine released and your gestalts are being closed and your efficiency is growing, your income is growing and everything is just great. So yeah, how do you make your dreams come true? I have just told you, this is by focusing on one task at a time, taking into consideration that we are monotaskers. So we have to focus on one task and complete this task. Right, so let's do the practice. So I prefer not to get distracted. Let's close your eyes and listen to my voice. Put both of your feet on the floor. It is very important right now. Feel the ground under your feet. Feel this pleasant feeling in the feet and how they're touching the floor with their whole surface. This is very important because this is our ground, our support, which is very important right now. Learn to feel the ground with your feet. Especially now, in a time of crisis, it is very effective to feel it. Feel the feet and feel that you like the sensation that they're getting from the surface that they're touching. And look for the pleasant sensations in your feet. Maybe you're standing on something soft and it is nice. Maybe your feet are warm and it's pleasant as well. Find the pleasant sensation and enjoy it. Allow yourself to enjoy it. We also did this practice at the Aware Sexuality course. And if some of you did it as well, maybe you will even manage to feel the goosebumps. And now feel that maybe your breathing is becoming different. Now feel your calves. Maybe they're sore. Maybe they're tense. Or maybe they're relaxed. Or maybe you feel light in your calves. The most important is to recognize what you're feeling there. And whatever you're feeling, find something pleasant and enjoy it. Your breathing is stable, calm, free. Feel your knees, the front of your knees, the back of your knees. Pop little space inside there. And feel how you're feeling your knees. And now feel your thighs, your hamstrings, the quads, your buttocks. Feel how you're sitting on the buttocks. Is it soft? Is it hard? Is it hot? Is it warm? Or maybe a little bit chilly? Is it pleasant or not really? And find comfort in how you're sitting on your hips and your buttocks, and enjoy it. Feel the fronts of your thighs, your quads, the outer thigh, the inner thigh, and find comfort there. And now, feel your legs as a whole, from the feet to the buttocks, and feel how relaxed they are. And locate some pleasant sensations there. Maybe you will feel the goosebumps or some sort of a wave. If it's your first time doing this practice, maybe you will not feel the goosebumps or the waves, but it can be easily trained. Now, feel your genital area. What are you feeling there? Is it all tensed up? Or maybe it's relaxed? Or maybe you're starting to feel a good wave, good sensations, maybe arousal. And keep breathing. And now let's move on to the lower belly area. Is your lower belly or the belly itself taking part in your breathing? You can try to blow the belly up like a balloon, inhaling and flattening it as you exhale. If your breathing is compressed, it may hurt to blow your belly up like a balloon. And we need to teach our belly to breathe with us. And now feel your ribs on the side, on the front, and a little bit in the back. Notice how the ribs are relaxed when breathing. Do they open up freely or are they compressed? Try to open up your rib cage. Open your ribs and keep breathing with your belly like a balloon, and the ribs as well. And notice your breathing right now, how free and relaxed it is. And now bring your attention to your chest. Is it breathing with ease? Or does it feel like there is an obstacle in there? Notice all the particularities of your breathing. And try to locate the pleasure both in your belly and in your ribs and in your diaphragm and in your chest. Take a few deep and slow breaths. Slowly inhale and slowly exhale. Just with pleasure. And now feel your entire back, your lower back, your shoulder blades, area under them and above them and between them, your shoulders and the whole back. Notice it relaxing and find a pleasant sensation in there. And now feel your arms from your shoulders to your elbow, your forearm, your palms, the hands, and find the most pleasant areas in your arms and enjoy these sensations. And now feel the back of your neck, the nape of your neck. This is a very special place. It tends to trigger goosebumps. Try to locate the pleasant sensation there. Bring your attention to your crown, your temples, your forehead, your eyes, your eye socket, and around it, your cheeks, your jaw, your mouth, your chin, the front of your neck, and locate your pleasant sensations there in the front of your neck and enjoy them. And allow yourself to enjoy them. And if you managed to enjoy at least one of these areas, you may notice the diaphragm relaxing, and it is a lot easier to breathe. And now let your attention hover from your feet to your crown and your face. And find the most pleasant area in your body. And if you cannot feel anything pleasant, it means that the system is still blocked and you need to assign a spot, assign a pleasant spot. Let's say the belly, and find the pleasant sensations there, or your hands and find the sensations there, or maybe your face and find the pleasant sensations there. And if your body isn't giving you the impulse, you assign it. It is easy. So you have assigned the area and enjoy the sensation. Enjoy. And now, name a second pleasant zone, or find it and enjoy it. And feel the pleasure in there, in your second area. And now, try to enjoy both the first and the second spots, connecting these pleasures in one. And now, locate or assign the third area, which is separate from the first two. Scan your body and find it, or just assign this third area and locate pleasure in there. Ideally, the farther these three zones from each other, the better. And feel the pleasure in the third area. And now, try to connect the third, the second, and the first zones simultaneously. It's like a 3D effect. And enjoy all three of them together. And now you're relaxed, and your breath is relaxed and stable. And you can ask yourself questions like, what brings me joy in life? What is important to me? What is not at all important? What do I want? What do I not want at all? What brings me pleasure? Maybe you will remember something from your past or your childhood. What brought you joy? What made you happy? What brought you the childish joy? What was important to you then? And slowly come back, open your eyes. And you can share your feelings and sensations in the chat. Please, like after a Thai massage, full relaxation. Yes, even when we aren't getting a massage, we can still relax ourselves. Oh, here, Ksyusha is here. I didn't even see you. Thank you. I love you too. I want to go on a swing, like in the childhood. Got all crybaby and remembered about my grandma who passed away not so long ago. Yes, tears. It means that you got relaxed. Those who cried, those who got tears, it's because you got really relaxed, and it's very good, very, very good. Peace, calmness, harmony. I felt warmth in all the three areas. Arousal, lightness, sadness. I couldn't relax, too anxious with no apparent reason. Do the practice later, again. It is important to listen to my voice and to follow it. If you have, if I'm saying it, just feel it and focus on one task. If you have other thoughts, they are actually located in the other area of the brain. They do not interfere with the meditation, because feelings and sensations, these are the other areas of the brain. And our inner dialogue is a completely other story, so no problem if you have a dialogue. It will turn itself off as you go deeper into your sensations. Goosebumps in the whole body, shivers. Great. Peace. I want to go and kiss and hug men. Great. Lightness, relaxation, goosebumps. Great. What do I do if there is no resource in the childhood? It was a disaster. Well, it's a pity, of course, I'm sorry. But when you were a child, maybe you have been enjoying to play with your dolls, or maybe you sewed dresses for them. Maybe you imagine to be its mommy. Find resource there. This is your resource. It doesn't have to be a relationship with your parents. Goosebumps in the legs, very pleasant, good. My back straightened, good. Yes, you will be shocked how this practice will be influencing all of your systems. Your tissues, your bone system, your muscles, everything will be smoothing out. You won't be having any wrinkles. If you look at yourself in the mirror, you will see how insanely beautiful you are. Your skin is so smooth. All because you are releasing tension from your face, your body. This is great, great practice. You have no idea how resourceful this practice is and how helpful it will be in your life. It's a fantastic practice. I fell asleep. Well, it's okay, just do the practice again later. It's good to do this practice before bed. Very good. I've almost cried. Should have cried, because if you wanted to cry but didn't, it means that you're blocking yourself, holding yourself back, not letting yourself out. You don't let anything out. Okay, warmth in the entire body, pleasant relaxation. My head is spinning, goosebumps. What's the music? This is the music on YouTube, music for sleep. There's a fish tank in the picture, and it's 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. All right, so pleasant lightness. I fell asleep. The whole exercise, I felt the chest compressed and tensed up, pulsating. Yes, keep doing the practice. These are the blockages coming out, which you suppressed, and which ones you will find out later. They can be coming out as tears, which is more likely, but for now it's being released this way. It's okay. Like I said, most of our sensations in the body are blocked. Starry skies, great pleasure. Why are my feet and hands always cold? This is stress. Stress. There is no blood circulation there. The body is so blocked and constantly in stress and fear. Shallow breath, lack of oxygen, and our blood vessels are constricted, and this way our limbs aren't getting the attention that they need from the brain, from the body. Pure vibrations, pure thoughts, sincerity to self. Yes, this is important. The questions, you can ask yourself any question. And when you have important decision to make, do this meditation. Before signing a contract or any other important decision you need to make, just do this meditation. Ask that question at the end when you felt the pleasure and you're in resource. Ask the questions and you will see what kind of answers will come. Relaxation, pure thoughts, bliss, similar stuff. Yoga, lightness. I feel like stretching and dancing. I dozed off at the end. 3D effect obtained. Yes, great. Eyes trembling. Yes, this is tension. Our body shows us that maybe, before the tears come out, before we start crying, this area, the receptors get activated, and we feel this tingling sensation in the eyes, and the eyes start trembling. So this may have been an impulse to start crying, and maybe you have blocked it. Tears of joy and love to my hobbies, which I remembered at the end. Awesome. So I dream at the same time. Got an insight from the childhood. Feeling a lump in the throat. Think what this lump can be about. The first things that pops up. What have you suppressed in there? Do not think with your head, just see which thoughts pop up. Felt resistance and lack of air. Keep doing the exercise, the practice. It's not necessarily today, but just make it an everyday practice. Lack of air is lack of life, lack of breathing, and breathing is life. When we feel the lack of it, it's us. We blocked ourselves and suppressed ourselves. So do it and get fully relaxed. Goosebumps, waves in the whole body, remembered my childhood, smiling. Good. My legs got tensed. It is important to focus on the pleasant sensations. Here it's a sign that you and actually everyone is focused more on the pain and the unpleasant sensations in the body than on the pleasure and comfortable sensations. We lack the culture of pleasure, of bliss. We need to adapt to this culture of pleasant sensations in the body, not where I got itchy, but where I have a pleasant sensation and where is it coming from. It's like you're sitting somewhere and have a wave of pleasure in the whole entire body. And it's possible, it is possible to develop in ourselves. And if you start coughing at the same time, yes, coughing is pain leaving the building. Like I said, all of our blockages are suppressed feelings, and they will be coming out through the reactions in the body. Warm hands. How to get rid of obsessive thoughts? If you keep doing this meditation, they will be leaving. Moreover, like I said, these thoughts are just happening parallel to this meditation. They do not interfere. I got an insight after the question about childhood. I remembered how much I was missing my parents' attention, and now I am demanding it from my man, and how I was jealous of my sister because she got the attention. Yes, we need to understand that our men are not our parents, and they don't have to give us what our parents didn't give us. Say, not all the men can give you everything, and if the man does not give you what you need, you can find your resource elsewhere, through your friends, through your psychologist. Just remember, the man does not owe you a resource. He doesn't have to fulfill the emotional gaps. Does not have to. How often should I do this practice? Every single day. Every day. You can do it before bed, if you want to fall asleep, or in the morning for clearer thoughts. Yes, eye trembling is an often case. It's normal. This is how our body reacts to the blockages. You need to relax, teach your body to do what I was talking about for over 2 hours, and you will see the effect. You will see the results. Why did I cry after I remembered my childhood? This is the pain leaving. This is your trigger, means it was good there. There was resource, and you got even more relaxed and started crying. My shoulders straightened like the wings of a bird. Great. Felt my body, lightness, happiness, warm legs. I cried at the beginning when I needed to feel grounded. See, your relaxation started there. You started to relax. That's good. My muscles are pulsating. Everyone gets their own reaction. Their own reaction. Okay. In the childhood, I saw myself in front of a mirror and I was a host of a TV show. Weigh out your decision internally. What is the level of your agreement with this? Logically, check if there is a resource, possibility, desire to bring this to life. And if those agree with each other, you start doing it. You start going in that direction. And you will not be procrastinating. You are driven, you wake up with it, and you go to bed thinking about it. So this is yours. And if you just fantasize to yourself and then forgot about it and didn't do one thing or procrastinated another, this is not yours. This is just a resource that came and went. If you are asking yourself a question in this meditative state, it is very easy to find support in yourself. You are grounded, you're mindful, you're relaxed and resourceful. And here, when you're making a decision, you are feeling how important it is to you, if it's yours, if it's not yours. And in one session, one practice that we have just done, maybe it won't work. I mean, it can work, of course, depending on your level of awareness, your blockages, etc. Everyone has their own pace of reaching this synthesis of the system. And And as you do it more often, you will see the grand result. It is very important to practice it. I have already told you about the possible body reactions and resistance. If I'm not doing it, I don't want to become a free woman, etc. I recommend either to record your own voice or use a voice recorder and record my voice and use it. Use it and do this practice every day. Every day. Okay, ladies. I felt my chest compressed and I had trouble breathing. Pain is leaving the system in the form of this somatic reaction. It will slowly be going away. You will be feeling it differently. Ideally is to reach the point when you are feeling goosebumps in the entire body, the 3D effect, the breathing is free, the belly is like a balloon, the ribs are moving like when, like, for example, a dog is breathing. You see how they're moving like this. Ideally, you are feeling this, and you get more sensitivity in your body, and your life is becoming more calm, you are more confident, and you understand yourself better. You know yourself, and you make a decision from within and not from the outside. I feel bliss in my head, but my ears are clogged. Ears are, also a very, very important part of the body, just like the eyes, eyebrows, ears. Ears getting clogged, that could be showing you something yours. Gradually, you will be reaching the point when you are just feeling bliss and pleasure, pleasant sensations in the body. Ladies, my dear ladies, or maybe gentlemen, boys, men who are also watching us. In fact, men are watching. When I see my sales, I see a lot of men who buy my product. So great job, men as well who watch webinars. What if I'm almost falling asleep? So it just means that you need to get some sleep. By the way, rest is very important. You need to choose yourself and rest passively. Sleep, get enough sleep. Now, this quarantine is a great time. Use it to its full advantage. Sleep as much as you like. Sleep as much as you like. Some girls are saying maybe their husbands are using their credit cards to pay for the webinars. No, I know who is watching me and I was told, so it's all good. Men are watching. This 3D effect is your resource, and you need to know yourself. What brings you joy and what brings you pleasure in life? Pleasure is dopamine, a sensation of like wave of energy, bliss. Every day you need to feel it. No day without pleasure. No day without pleasure. It's a law. Every day, pleasure. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for your attention. I am wishing you all a lot of health, great mood, resource, pleasures. We are right here, right now, and we're safe. Focus on that. No matter what's going on around you, you are at home, you're in your room, you're in your bed, you're in your kitchen, and you are safe and you're sound. Have a good night.